ones. Yeah, he's got a couple of those, huh? He's got a couple of those. Just gonna do this, see what happens.
So we're going to talk about business.
All right. So we'll get started then. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but we'll do it. So what did you guys talk about last week? What was the class?
Listings. We were talking about sellers, gaining sellers. We actually make phone calls for getting sellers. Listing appointments. We talked about listing presentations.
Listing presentation. Good. So this week we're going to be talking about pricing to sell, specifically CMAs. You guys all know what a CMA is?
Yes.
What is it?
That's
Comparative market analysis.
I'm sorry?
Comparative market analysis.
Cool. Good. Okay, so before we get into that, ahas from last week.
Let's see.
Listing presentation. I'm sorry, not last week. It was yesterday, right? It was yesterday. Monday.
It's every other day.
Okay.
I don't have enough listing appointments.
That was your aha?
That was my aha, is that I need more listing appointments.
Okay. How about specifically around the presentation itself?
I think it was to send your packet out to your clients or your sphere and just say, like, this is what I offer. If you kind of know anybody who's interested in listing, but this is what I offer, so just send it to them.
Like in a PDF or like a PowerPoint kind of thing?
Yeah, so they can take a look at it and kind of see what you offer or what you do.
Okay. Like a benefits presentation, like a modified benefits presentation?
Yeah, so you're not actually giving them the listing packet, or like you're not giving them a presentation. You're saying, here's my packet. If you want to share this with anybody, feel free. And they can talk to you. Then I'll give them the presentation.
Cool. Anybody else?
Also, I learned that when I have a buyer that is not pre-qualified yet, instead of sending him to go to the lender and give him the phone number, meet with that person and get the information so I can start to have that information for my lender, help the lender do that. Because I found that most of the time, I get the buyers at an open house, I send them the lender information, and then they get lost. And
Yeah.
I lose them.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's massive. Right? Like who in here has done a buyer's presentation and had someone sign a buyer-broker agreement?
I did only once.
I've done twice already, broker agreement, yeah.
Good. So I think I shared the last time I taught, and we did the listing presentation on the last one. But that was one of my huge ahas, right? And it was trial by losing money that I thought I was going to get a sale, right? I had a family friend who was referred to me, right? Like we had done work for someone that they were their dad, I think it was. Anyway, and I thought it was like a gimme, right? Like, oh, I don't like, I can kind of cut corners. I didn't think I'm going to cut corners, but I thought to myself, they're going to work with me, right? I just need to, kind of give them a little taste that here's what's going to happen, here's what I'm going to do. I didn't do the full presentation. I did not have them sign anything. I sent them to my lender. I sent them listings with zero commitment to me, right? They went to an open house, wrote an offer with the agent that was standing at the open house. I lost my client. I lost my client. They were not a client. They did not belong to me because I didn't do what I needed to do to lock them down, right? So that gimme, that one that I thought for sure was mine, no. And they weren't thinking, oh, I'm cutting John out. They just thought, I'm working with John, right? And that was even the conversation later, which was super awkward, right? Is they were like, oh, well, you still get something, right? Like, well, no. I didn't show you the house. I didn't write the offer. I wasn't involved. I didn't even send them that one. They just saw it online and went to an open house on the weekend, right?
Still get something, right?
No, I don't get jack, right? That sucks, right? And so I think that is it's so huge. So now I don't work with anyone. I don't send them anything. You're right. I don't even send them to my lender because guess what? That's a benefit of working with me specifically.
How do you present the buyer broker?
I have,
What do you tell
so
them?
there's a listing presentation.
Yeah.
I have a buyer presentation. I have a buyer benefits presentation where I list out, I have a 13-point contract where I list out, here are the 13 things that I do for you, right? Some guarantees that I offer. And in return, all I ask for is your loyalty. Does that sound fair? I'm going to work my butt off for you. All you have to do is say, when the time comes, I'm just the one that gets to do the paperwork for you.
Now that I think about this, is not something new, because when I first started, I worked for an independent company, and then they went on board with ERA real estate. There's not that many of them around.
Okay.
And one of the things was when you do your presentation, put something together like a buyer's agreement. There was
Absolutely.
no card for legal, anything like that. We just stuck something out with a little company logo, and it said there, I will work with you, but you agree to work also with me, and
Exactly.
you both signed it.
Exactly.
So now-
So that's how I do mine, because right now you're just giving free services, right? You just want to be the person that just gives stuff away? No. Lock them down. Make that be one of the benefits of working with you.
How long are you making your contracts for, your buyer broker contracts?
A year.
A year?
Sure.
Okay, because I'm running them out for like 6 months.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right?
No.
I do everything for a year. My listings are all for a year. My buyers are all for a year, because I want to make sure that I've got them. What if it takes a little bit of time? What if I send them to my lender and they got to do some credit something or other, right? I don't want to lose them just because that expired, right? So I don't. That's a non-issue, right? They ask me, oh, it's for a year, but you can cancel anytime.
And then you're doing,
Right.
what do you do against your
So-
compensation if it's broken? 3% at 5,000 or
3.5%.
3.5% at 5,000? Because it's like, it's percentage and money. No?
No,
Just zero money?
3.5%. I don't do it all.
Oh,
Right?
because I just was filling out a contract today.
You should do one.
Oh, because it says and. Good on the ground.
I don't know, but we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic. So I'm sorry I got off topic there, but I think that's a powerful thing, right? Is that's a huge aha. Is locking them down, right? Making your services be something, actually be a benefit, not just something that they can get anywhere, right? So that's huge. Anybody else? Ahas from last week on the listing presentation? No? You weren't here? Okay, cool. That's good. Okay, so there's your report outs. Are you guys all reporting online now?
Reporting? The command? Yeah, I mean,
In the tracker for this, yes? Okay, I don't have access to it, but I'd love to know you guys'. Let's report our numbers. You guys have those? You should have them.
10 and 10.
Yep. Yeah, you're 10-4, right? So who wants to go first? Who has their 10-4 filled out?
I do. So I have,
So did you add 10 contacts?
I added 10 contacts. Oh, no, I had 10 contacts made. And then I have,
So the four things, are you guys familiar with the 10-4, what you're supposed to do at the beginning of every class? Yeah? Okay, so we're reporting 10 contacts added into your database, brand new people, right? 10 connections, right? I don't know. That's fine. So I've done that, so I'm gonna say it now. But I had to actually. Oh no, I turned it off. So like the Google feature, I was saying things for some, I don't know what they were, but it sounded like "Okay Google" or "Hey Google," and my phone would turn on and start.
That's too funny.
So I had to turn it off. I don't know. That was something like that. So 10 contacts added, 10 connections. I don't know how you guys are defining that, but connections for me are real estate conversations where I ask for business or a referral, right?
Over the phone, right?
Yeah, face-to-face over the phone. 10 notes, handwritten notes mailed out, and 10 homes previewed, okay? So 10 contacts added,
I have 6 contacts added.
okay?
I have 15 contacts, or 15 connections.
Okay,
I have, I know it isn't listed on there, but I've had 3 appointments held.
Awesome.
And I haven't looked into 10 homes. I've only looked at 2.
Okay.
And what was the last one?
Notes, handwritten notes.
Other than text messages, no, I haven't.
No, actual handwritten on a card note mailed to your client.
0.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for reporting. Thank you for sharing. So Haley.
Okay, so I did get the 10 connections, 10 notes, and 0, oh no, not 0, 4 contacts added to command, and 2 homes previewed.
Okay. Good. Good. So room for improvement, right? So I think that reporting is so powerful, right? Accountability is so powerful, right? Because it's kind of awkward to say, oh, I didn't do it, right? I didn't even fill out the form. I forgot that we were doing that, right? But this kind of stuff is so important, knowing your numbers, right? Because as you continue to track this, you're going to be able to convert that into percentages, and you're going to know how many people do I need to be calling. Right? What do I need? What activities do I need to perform to build my database to actually have that flow of business? Anybody else? Who has their numbers?
From the beginning or from last?
Just since. So this is daily.
Okay,
So let's talk about yesterday.
I got 4 people into my database.
4.
I saw 3 tosses
Okay.
physically. More than 10 on the MLS.
Okay.
And I wrote a lot of cards, but I wrote 10.
Okay. Good. Good. Notes are cool. How many of you guys still receive like personal handwritten notes from people in the mail nowadays? Yeah. Not very often, right? And when it's handwritten on the front, don't stamp it or anything like that, right? Don't print it. Actually handwrite it. That's a special touch. That's not a common thing anymore. We still get a bunch of junk mail, right? But when this comes in a smaller envelope, it looks like a card, right? It's handwritten. That's different. That's going to stand out. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant is I just sent out like 62 cards, handwritten cards, to my entire family. And like went to the dollar store and you buy packs of 8 cards for
Yes.
$1, and they're nice. They're like Hallmark cards.
Right?
And I wrote them and it took forever, but
Isn't that great?
it should have an impact on my
It will. So it will when you combine it with, phone calls, pop-bys, mail, email, everything. When you combine that, you're going to stand out. Cool. Who else? Let's go down. Report out for your 10-4 from yesterday.
Yes, I did my preview home. I wrote 5 notes.
Okay.
And I did 15 contacts.
15 contacts added into your database?
No,
Or you talked to 15 people?
I talked to
Okay.
people. Didn't finish that.
Okay. Good. Add them in there before you forget, because trust me, you'll forget, and then all of a sudden you're going to be getting text messages from someone, and you're not going to remember the conversation or anything.
I failed to do that.
Okay.
I did my calls. I didn't keep track of it, but I've been doing. Yesterday I did about 7 calls. The day before I did 10 calls. I had actual conversations.
Good. So track them. Make a copy. Where do you usually make your calls?
I call expires.
Oh no, where are you when you usually make the calls?
Where?
Yeah. You sitting at a desk somewhere? Are you sitting at home?
At home, I have a desk at home. Yeah.
I would print one of these out, or print a couple of them and just have them sitting there. So as you're making those calls, it'll just be a reminder because it's sitting in front of you. Pin it up on the wall or something, and keep track of them. Keep track of them.
I put a blank piece of paper on the window right in front of my desk that I sit at, and I just tally as I do it as I go, and that really helps because now I know where I'm at
Yeah.
at all times.
Good. It's a good idea. How about you?
No, I haven't started yet.
Okay.
Because I'm
Okay. No problem. So as part of this class, so the next class is going to be on Friday then, is that right? Okay. So today and tomorrow, you have this form right in front of you, right? It's in your book, 10-4. Is it in your book?
Yes.
Okay. It might be there. It might be at the end
First
for
page.
first page.
It should be the first page.
Where you go over, that's the follow-up.
It might be at the end here for your work for next week. Page 7, 5. You're almost there. So here's where it is. So
This one and that one.
4 activities, and do 10 of each day, right? So this is you're going to add 10 contacts into your database, whatever that is. Probably command. Okay. Add 10 contacts into there. Talk to 10 people about real estate. Write 10 handwritten notes and preview 10 homes. Okay? That should be your goal every day. Do those 10 things. Okay? So for Friday, have that and be ready to report. You know, this is what I did on everything. Good. Hey.
This is Daryl Johnson. That's our appraiser for today.
Okay.
So I don't know when or how or
Okay.
anything about why. So
I don't know either. We'll work them in here then.
pop in the room real quick.
Okay. Clara? Is that right? Just looking at your tag there. I can barely see it. Clara? Numbers.
Okay, I was saying, I sent out 4 notifications to people, and actually these were from, for people that had either vacancy or they had notice of default. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking the bio from the listing presentation, and I just fold it and put it in the envelope to show them what my background is. And I send it out, but when I make out when I write out the envelope, yes, I manually address it, but I don't put Keller Williams on the outside. I just put the office address, because I figured if they see Keller Williams, this is just, so they won't open it.
Okay.
So what I want them to do is to open the envelope and see what's inside.
So you're adding something into the card, you say. So you're putting in there
Books, how to.
your
how to
bio
sell.
or something?
My bio,
Okay.
my experience.
Okay.
What I'm certified on, and all that stuff.
So that's another step. I believe that for this specifically, what they're looking for is like a thank you, right? Some sort of personal touch. That's something. That's totally something that you could add in there, right? And maybe that's worthwhile.
I have not connected with them yet.
Good. Okay. So what about your contacts, connections, and homes previewed?
I didn't do any home previews.
Okay.
This week, so I didn't have some doctor's appointments, so I couldn't walk too much. So I don't have any of the others. Yes.
Okay. But on Friday you will.
But I'm probably okay. I'm supposed to be exercising.
A little bit. I didn't show any homes or preview. I did 3 notes, 5 in the database, and 5 connections.
Okay. So you're doing something?
I did a little bit. Yeah.
Did a little bit? Good. Room for improvement. You guys weren't here, but did you know about that?
Yeah, we knew.
The 10-4? Yeah?
No, it slipped our minds, but telling it up, it was like just 5 conversations and 1 house preview. We couldn't put anything to the database or send out any notes.
Okay.
So we will be working on
Room for improvement, right? Friday we'll have all 10s. That'd be awesome. You came in late. We're reporting on our 10-4. So 10 contacts out of your database, 10 connections, 10 notes written, 10 homes previewed. Did you keep track of that? No? Do you have an idea? Did you do some of that? Okay. And that's okay. You're not the only one. Actually, it's not okay. You're not the only one. That's room for improvement, right? So really important. We should be making calls, talking to people every day, right? And adding to our database, right? Good. So on Friday, I'm not going to be in here, but it would be really cool to hear that there was a whole lot of 10s and a whole lot of I completed it's. That'd be really good. That'd be cool to hear, and it'd be so good for your business. I mean, that's not why we're here or anything, though. We don't want to like.
If anybody's confused on command or needs help, come to me. I'm pretty familiarized. I'll help you out with how to enter contacts and stuff.
Cool. And do you guys all know about the contest, the March Madness contest going on right now?
Yes. March Madness.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes? No? Are you on the KW Agents Facebook page? Okay. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Okay. So 10 points. So there's a bunch of prizes that are being given away this month. A couple of Lakers tickets, Disneyland tickets, and TV. I don't know, a 30-second commercial video edited, right? There's some cool stuff.
Is this everybody in the office included?
Everybody's included. So there's a point system for adding a neighborhood. What is it? Neighborhood search or whatever, like the neighborhood feature to a contact, right? So that the neighborhood nurture, so that they're getting regular emails from you, right?
Yeah, because they're trying to get you to use it.
Yes, use it. App downloads, so having your clients download your app. Listing appointments, listings taken, and I guess that's it. 10 points for each one of those things, right? For the whole month. Whoever has the most points, first, second, third, they're doing it on a value base for the prizes, but a pretty good reason to add contacts into your database. I mean, come on, and then set them up on a neighborhood search. It's only going to help you, and you might get to go to a Lakers game.
Are we competing with Thomas Velasquez?
Yeah, you're competing with everybody. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So today we are talking. Oh wait, hold on. Handwritten notes. All right. Give me just a second here. Hold on. I was online when I looked at this. Handwritten notes. All right. We are going to talk about the CMA. But first, we are going to report out. So we're writing notes right now. So you have 5 minutes to write notes to people that you've had conversations with in the last day. So, does everybody have a card or something they can write a note on?
No, I didn't bring one.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we're not going to skip stuff. So I have some cards. I'm going to go grab a few, and These are great to do like after an open house even, right? Just because you're having people sign in, right? Just a quick thank you. Hey, thanks for stopping by my open house.
They leave their address.
Yeah, make them leave their address.
Sometimes they do, take a badge.
You know, or you just talk to them on the phone, right? You just saw them somewhere. It's like, hey, it was good seeing you, right? By the way, you know I'm in real estate, right?
should have some out there in the plane too.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's like, this, and this, and this,
All right, everybody done with their cards?
Yes.
Right on. How many did you write? Just one. Okay. It's one. It's one.
Yeah. And it's a good one too.
Good. They're all good. The ones that you write and go out are all good.
Yeah.
Even if you had to scribble out the misspelling.
Okay.
This is a
I literally
previous,
rewrote the entire card.
this is a previous client.
Oh, good, good.
We do,
I was gonna ask you that. Okay,
Cool.
so,
All right. We good? All right, so we'll move on. So last week you talked about the listing presentation, right? We talked about how you prepare, right? What to bring, how you conduct yourself when you walk into the house. What do you do first, right? The conversation, the actual presentation itself, right? And how you close, right? So as part of that, as part of your preparation, there's the value of the house, right? So there's I guess, in my opinion right now, there's two big aspects to that, that presentation that you're doing, right? One is selling yourself, right? Selling what it is that you do, what it is that you have to offer to that client that sets you apart from the other 1,700 agents in the Antelope Valley, right? So the other part is presenting what you believe the value of their home to be, right, in a way that they can understand, right, and they don't feel like they're being sold, right? So mindset has a lot to do with that, right? People, anyone, sellers, a lot of times get in their head what they believe the value of their home is because it's their home, right? Has anybody had a fun experience with that? Yeah, I have. Right? Because yes, their home is special to them, right? So what part of the objective of the CMA, right, or this part of the presentation, is helping them to see not just their house, right, but how their house compares with what else is available or with what else has sold recently, right? Because you may have, I just hold one, and she was so proud of the porcelain tile that she had put in the house. I mean, I paid for it was porcelain, right? And I kept thinking to myself, does she mean travertine? I don't know, no, it was porcelain tile, right? She put tile in the house, right? Which to her was a huge upgrade, right? From the nasty old carpet that was in there, that the dogs had been on. Right? So for her, that was like, oh my gosh, right? But when we got together and she kept bringing that up, right? So, and I knew that from my pre-listing phone call was, have you done any significant upgrades to the house that I should know about before I come over, right? Well, I put porcelain tile almost the whole downstairs. Oh, well, that's okay, great. So I knew that was something I had to pay attention to. So when I got there, part of my CMA presentation was showing her that just about every other house in the neighborhood has tile. Right? But I didn't say it like that to her because now she's, I'm a jerk. No, but what I do is I go through the pictures. Here's what's on the market now, right? Let's just take a quick look at how your home compares with, this similar size homes, right? So we start clicking through pictures, right? And as we're going through, I'll say, ooh, look at, that one's got, upgraded countertops. So those are all brand new cabinets. Or this one redid the bathroom. And, oh, yep, this one's got tile also. That's real nice, right? Oh, and this one's got tile too. That's real nice. Look at that, right? And, right, without being blunt and saying, well, everybody's got tile. That's not, whatever, right? You can help them come to the conclusion themselves, right? Because having them see it, come to their own conclusion and believe it is everything, right? You can tell somebody something all day long, but until they understand it and they believe that and they have the same understanding, you can just talk till you're blue in the face. It doesn't really matter. Their house is better in their mind, right? So understanding that whatever you believe is the truth. Whatever your client believes is the truth to them, right? So educating, and that's what the CMA is all about, right? Helping to educate your client. So there's a couple things we're going to go through. How the market works, local market conditions, and then pricing criteria. So we're on page 11 in my book. Making it happen, pricing. You guys see that? Okay. So there's how the market works. There's two principles about the market and value, providing a great foundation for pricing. So there's two things. There's two things here. So there's market dynamics and determining the value. So market dynamics. Can someone read that for me? You guys see that under number 1 there?
Market dynamics. Markets operate on the law of supply and demand. When supply is high and demand is down, prices fall. When supply is low and demand is up, prices increase.
Yes. Does anybody know what our current supply and demand is?
We have not too many homes on the market right now.
There's gonna-
More demand.
It's a buyer's market.
Supply and demand. What is our
You're asking for what we have on the market right now?
what's our supply and demand?
We have a seller's market right now.
We have seller's market.
Because there are fewer homes, like I think there were about 900 active listings and there were about almost 600 new listings at the beginning of the week, I believe, or the end of the last week when I pulled the market stuff. But there were less, last.
So good.
At the end of February, there were not very many homes. There were less than 1,000.
Okay. Who else? What's our? So this is a good thing to go over, right? Huh?
680 is what it shows right now.
Okay. I'm looking for something a little bit different. Oh, and it took me to. I don't want the.
1.75.
Do you have it pulled up right now? Do you have MLS pulled up?
You went to the front? To the graph on the front?
Oops. Menu. Nope. How do you go back on
Yeah, right there.
We're under 2 months, we're at a month and.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for. The absorption rate, right?
1.7 or 1.8, something like
We're at a month, well, I go almost 2 months on the absorption rate.
Okay.
So we're actually at 1/8.
Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. Supply and demand, right? Our absorption rate, right? Those are good numbers to pay attention to regularly, right? And it's really easy because Flex is one of the places that you can get that on the MLS, and it shows you, it breaks it down month by month, okay? So our supply and demand, right? And so we talk about, so those are good things to be prepared with when you go into a listing, right? So what it defaults to on there is just the Antelope Valley, right? It'll give you averages. Did you know that you can go in and you can customize for an area for a mapped location or for a zip code?
How do you do that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? So you can do that.
And you can print that out and show them, based on your area where your house is, this is how long the property will stay on the market.
Right, and so those are great talking points, right? Here's how many homes are on the market in this area, right? Or in the Antelope Valley. You can talk about averages, right? That's okay to do. And I think one of the important things there is what we're talking about right here is the dynamic of inventory, right? And what you just read. So when supply is high, so what does that mean? When there's a lot of houses available, right? Demand is down. What happens? Right? Right? Because there's too much, right? There's just way too many choices, which changes it from sellers having the upper hand to now buyers get to pick and choose, and you're lucky if you're the one that gets chosen, right? And vice versa. So where are we right now in our market?
7.
Yes?
Like 50, it was like 50.
So right now, our inventory has been coming down and coming down and coming down, right?
We're selling faster and faster and faster.
So we're at close to half of what we were inventory-wise from a year ago. Close, right? And And our houses skyrocketing in price right now?
There have been.
Well, they've been selling.
Over the past 6 months, they've gone up.
They've gone up, right? But as far as what I look at, and we've got an appraiser here, so I'm sure he can speak to some of this, right? Because he's out looking at this all the time. Yeah, we are seeing prices come up a little bit on an average, here locally in the Antelope Valley, not nationally, right? Not all over LA, but yeah, we've got a supply and demand issue, right? That is, I think slowly we're getting more and more buyer activity, right? Are you guys feeling that?
Yeah.
I'm feeling that. I'm getting more phone calls, right? But it's not like, there's not enough houses and they're selling like that, right? They're sitting for a little bit. Our average is what, almost 60 days?
6 days.
Almost.
66? 66 days on the market, okay?
And 90
So they're selling relatively quick, but
in the market, when I did the market summary.
so good things to pay attention to.
Average days on the market.
Okay, determination of value. Can someone else read that?
Value is established based on agreement between a willing seller and a willing buyer. The tug of war is always between what the sellers want and what the buyer is willing to pay.
Right.
Yeah. So, does it really matter too much how a seller feels about their home when it comes down to like brass tacks of actually selling your house? Is the seller really in control of the sales price?
No.
No. They're in control of what they offer,
Yeah.
right?
They want to accept.
Right, and what they want to accept, but that's one of the conversations I have with my clients all the time. Right, is, listen, I don't pick the price that the house is going to sell for. I'm not buying it. You're not buying it again, right? So what our job right now is to analyze all the data that's available, right? And we've brought that on the listing, right? So we're going to get into what's going on, right? And we're going to look at it together with your client. And together, we're going to come up with our best estimation based on the data available of what the home is worth, right? So again, kind of goes back to, we don't tell people, that, this may not be as valuable as you think on your house, or that may not, right?
Yeah.
We don't just outright tell them, but we help to educate, and we look at things together, because when they come to the conclusion themselves, they'll believe it, right? And that'll be reality, which it is.
There's something, I don't know if it's printed in your presentation, but appraisal and looking at something that has value is based on the principle of substitution. And that means that no educated buyer is going to pay more for a given piece of property than they can go and buy an equal substitute. It's the principle of substitution. I don't care if it's a car, house, or some other antique Coca-Cola machine. If you have, and what we talk about, arm's length transaction, knowledgeable buyer, and equal knowledgeable seller, they know what they have, they know the characteristics of the property. It's all going to come down to the theory of the principle of substitution. So I don't know if it's in your...
Yeah, well, that goes right along with what we were just talking about, right? And that's absolutely right, right? You're not going to pay, if you can get that same house right over here, right, or right down the street for $10,000 less, why?
Exactly.
What are we even talking about, right? You go in and get that one until that one sells, right? But yeah, absolutely right. When there's an equal substitute, that's absolutely right. I don't know. A lot of times we have buyers who are not looking at a specific build, right? Like, this is the model that I want, right? A lot of times it's, I'm looking in this area, right? And so, if they're looking in West Lancaster, right, for example, you've got brand new builds, you've got 10-year-old builds, you've got, 60-year-old stuff in, Quartz Hill. You've got a lot, that could be relatively close to the same size or bedroom count, right? But, if we're not digging too deep on the exact details that they're looking for, right? But there's a lot to choose from, right? So sometimes coming up with something that is a replacement, what was the word you used? Substitute, right? An equal substitute, right? Yeah, but it totally depends. Okay, so So market conditions, days on market, square footage. I think this would probably be a good time actually for you to come up if you're ready. I'm sorry, Daryl Johnson. He's an appraiser, a local appraiser, and he's been so kind as to come in to talk to you guys about value, how values are come to, and just some information. And you said you're willing to answer questions and stuff about appraisals too. So we'll do that, and then when we come back, we'll actually get in. We're going to split up into some teams, and we're actually going to do some comparative market analysis together, and then look at those. So, Daryl?
I've got some handouts. A lot of this might be
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Turn to the purple wall, the bold wall. And just, you've got like, I'll say you've got like 30 seconds to a minute. Find something on there that speaks to you that you can share with the class. Just read the quote and then tell us how that makes you feel, what you think about that, how it strikes you. Go. Oh no, just look at it and then think about that for a second, and then we'll go around the room. When you got it, go ahead and turn to me so I know you got it. Oh man, yeah. Yeah. We're changing our position. We're elevating a little bit. Stand up. We're gonna change it up a little.
Stretch while we're at it.
Good. All right. I'll share mine first, if that's okay with you guys. Whoop. Do you guys have, I have clammy hands like all the time. And sometimes it makes my fingerprint scanner not work. There we go. So my screensaver on my lock is a picture of me and my wife on our last trip to Hawaii, which was super fun. And that was like really our first big trip that my business funded for me. Right? That all the work that I've been doing, I got this huge payoff, and I got to take my wife and kids to Hawaii, and I love the beach. I just love that, right? And that was like, man, that was just freaking awesome. And it was on the heels of taking Bold. Now this isn't a pitch for Bold, but it is. I think it's awesome. I went to Bold for the first time, and at the end of the class, you write a letter to yourself.
For a year later.
Right? You write a letter to yourself as if you are a year from now looking back on yourself now, right? Like you're writing to yourself from the future, and you're projecting, right? You're writing what has happened in the last year, but really you're projecting what you want to happen in the coming year, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things I wrote on that letter,
Purpose of this business is found a perfect life?
No, that's one. I'm sorry. I just got a little emotional. So one of the things I wrote to myself is that my business would be to a point when I could leave. My business wouldn't suffer because of it, and I could take I specifically wrote down, in July, I'm going to be in Hawaii with my family. Right? And when I got that letter in June, my flight, my hotel, and a couple of excursions were booked. And guess what? I had completely forgotten about that letter. When that letter came, it actually went to my wife first. She opened it and was like, what in the heck is this? And when I explained it to her, it was like, it was awesome. Okay? So for me, Bold does it, yeah. Yeah, the Bold coach takes it and it gets mailed to you from Keller Williams and wherever. Anyway, so for me, that's it right there. And right below that, my life by design, not by default. Life by design, not by default, right? I control what happens in my life. I control what's going to happen by what I do today, right? I'm designing it, and I'm doing that through my actions and my goals and staying accountable and just doing it, right? So that's it for me. Let's start over here with Suhaili.
Mine was grow your business to the extent that you do. That's why you always see me here in classes and stuff, refreshing my mind, learning new things, what other teachers say, what works for them or not, because that helps you with your clients. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Refreshing my thoughts.
Absolutely. That's so true. I think you're just like a sponge. That's how I view you, because anytime I see you talking to anyone, it's like you're asking questions and you're absorbing, you're taking everything in, and that's awesome. And obviously she acts on it. I mean, it sells a ton.
If it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist, which is very true. If I don't write it down, I forget about it and I don't do it. But
Yeah.
when I write it down, I have more chances to actually do it.
Mhm.
So if I plan my schedule for the day or for the week and I indicate what I need to do, that I have a higher chance to complete that.
Boom. Absolutely. Thank you.
Mine is focus on the plan, not the problem.
Mm.
So I like to plan everything out
Mhm.
and go by the plan. And if I have to go out of the plan, then I'll figure out another plan.
There you go. There you go. Don't let the problems rule you, huh? Right?
Same thing with her, if it's not on my schedule, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't. You're so right. Good.
And also the focus on the plan, not the problem. I'm always focusing on how I'm gonna set myself up, to start making all those calls, and then I start thinking about the problem. The drunk monkey tells me, don't call because you're gonna get a negative
Yeah.
the other side.
They're going to hang up, yeah. Yeah.
So that's hard. Trying to, just go ahead and do it. You know, I know I wasn't like that before. I would just pick up the phone and I didn't care who I called. You know, but all of a sudden it was just like something changed in my brain, and I was like, it keeps telling me, don't make that call.
Mhm.
I gotta change it.
You are changing it.
I am.
So in the past, I've had a limiting belief about cold calling. But going forward,
Yeah,
I'm changing that.
exactly. Yep.
For me, it's actually two of them. The purpose of the business is to fund the perfect life, which goes back to yours, which
Yeah,
is life by design,
absolutely.
not by default. So for me, it's actually more because I'm actually transitioning to real estate, joining with my wife. So the motivation's there. So we're trying to basically have a different lifestyle, avoid that whole 9 to 5 work that we're used to, kind of not seeing each other that much. So I think with this business, it's going to get us more closer, and also being with our kids and stuff like that as well.
Awesome. That's great.
Same thing, and mine is also don't listen to my drunk monkey, because I always have drunk monkey saying, I'm kind of a person that I don't like to, if I need your services, I will contact you. So what stops me is that, because I'm not that type of person, but I have to understand that not everybody else is like me. Some of them need that information. So I need to stop listening to my drunk monkey saying, no, if they needed it, they'd be calling.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And when you're calling your clients, they may be in your position where I don't need your services now, but how important is it to stay top of mind for referrals, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Drunk monkeys for all of us, huh? It's always messing with us.
So mine is, it's not about selling real estate, it's about following a schedule. I've
So true.
have a huge, that was terrible timing. I have a huge, I've always had a huge issue with organization. And so even with going back to hers too, kind of goes with, if it's not on the schedule, it doesn't exist. I recently sat down with Drew. He helped me put a schedule together on a guideline with everything that I have, including my other business, putting my life together to where I'm not just out selling, trying to sell people, hey, I'm doing real estate and this and that, where it's everything's at a certain time, everything's at a certain place, doing things at a certain time, and my productivity has just completely changed. Or just my results, not even the productivity, my results and productivity have completely changed, where now I'm seeing progress in actually getting appointments and talking to more people, having more people in my funnel, and control over my time. So it's been very, very beneficial for me.
Awesome. Good. Thank you.
Mine goes with the focus on the plan, not on the problem. My husband thought I was crazy the third time I took a call. There was this lady that was very encouraging with us to write that letter.
Hmm.
On the letter I wrote that I wanted to flip a couple of houses that year and buy a new car. Not only for me, but one for my husband. I know about that. So I kept on going and doing my own thing, but he's kept on supporting me. So when I received the letter, not only have I the 2 cars, but also the 3 houses.
There you go.
Wow.
I have a lot of health issues, but I kept on focusing on the plan that I had for the year, no matter what. And even though he kept saying, you're not well enough to go and do those things, I said, well, I will get worse if I'm staying home. So that's how it related to you lately.
Powerful.
Wow. She said, hold my beard. That's awesome.
She said, watch me.
They said, watch me. Bet. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So the theme, I think a lot of the theme was about our focus, right? What we're focusing on. And man, that is so powerful. Thank you guys for sharing. That was awesome. All right, now let's get back to CMAs here. All right, so there's 4 aspects to pricing. So 4 pricing criteria. There's the location, there's the size, there's amenities, and there's condition. What of those 4 criteria can be changed? Condition. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you could change the size, right? Yeah. Can you change where it is?
No. Condition,
No.
location.
There you go. Good. So those are a couple things. So when you're looking at value, those are some things to pay attention to, right? Where is it? How big is it? What's around it? What does the property have? And what's the condition? Has it been updated? Is it brand new? And those are a couple of things that you're going to pay attention to. We've already done that. So the next part of the conversation when you're meeting with your clients, right? You're going to have your CMA. You're going to be looking at properties, and you're going to be talking about knowing what sells, right? Price and condition are big factors, right? So I'll share with you what I do when I meet with my clients. So in the book, and I'll tell you what's in the book because this is in the book, right? And then I'll just share my side note, right? In the book, you should prepare a CMA, and you should be prepared with a number, right? A value. And it says, in here, it says you bring it, it's on the CMA. Here's my recommended value for the home, okay? And that is one way to do it. Me personally, I can't think of the last time when I told a client what I believed the value of their home was. I just don't do that. I've run into some awkward situations with that. So as part of my preparation, when I'm making that listing appointment, right, and then the follow-up call with the questionnaire, which you guys I'm sure talked about on Monday, which is you're getting some information about the house. One of the questions that I always ask, kind of in passing, is so I'm sure you've looked online and stuff. What do you just so that I've kind of got it here? What do you believe the value of your house is in today's market? Right, something along those lines. And trust me, whether they tell you or not, they know what they want for their house, or they know what they believe that their house should or could or might sell for, right? And so I like to know that. Not because I'm going to try to find values that support that or whatever. No, it's just having that information so that I know what I'm walking into, right? So now as I start looking at comps, I either know that I'm going to walk into a situation where, okay, they kind of understand the market. We're going to do some more education, but they're in the right range, right? As opposed to possibly starting to look at comps and going, they're in space, right? That ain't going to happen. Right? And then what that allows you to do is be able to prepare for that listing appointment more specifically, right? Because you know that you're gonna have to overcome some value stuff there, and you need to be prepared for that. and then there's preparing your client for what to expect, right? If your house, especially in today's market, right now, although we're seeing prices kind of go up just a little bit, we're still seeing, if you look at the average list to sales price, what is it? Do you still have that up? The average list to sales like 98%.
Right here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's at like 97, 98.
Right? If you look at the valley on average, right? So are homes selling for significantly more than they're listed for based on that criteria? No.
I just have one, I just got one that the client didn't want to lower it down, and they put the price. I didn't. They put a very high price, and even though it's in a strange place, that's a nice secure.
Okay. Yeah. So there's going to be some anomalies there, right? But if we're looking at the average, if homes are selling 98% list to sale price, that statistic tells us that if you list your house at market, it's going to sell, right? In other markets, right? If we were in like a big increasing market and had been, we would see that different, right? We'd see a higher number, right? If we're listing houses here and then they're selling here and then we're listing houses here and then they're selling here, we're going to be over 100%, right? Right now we're at 98%, which means that if you're pricing your home competitively, right, within the market range, it's going to sell, right? And I've seen that with my listings, and part of how I operate is I'm working with a lot of referrals and repeat clients or friends of referrals and things like that, where it's a little bit more personal. Right? And so a lot of times I'm listing houses that, you know what, we're probably a little above the market. And I tell them that. Yeah, we're a little high, you're pushing it, right? But I prepare them, right, with here's what to expect. 5 showings a week. Right? You get 5 showings a week, sit back and wait. You'll get, just wait. Offers on its way. Right? That means there's enough people looking in your area coming through the house. That's people walking through. That's not phone calls. I'm not talking about clicks online. I'm talking about human bodies breathing, walking through your house, right? You get 5 showings a week, just wait. Eventually, if you've got that much activity, if yours isn't the best one and doesn't go right away, well, the best one's going to go, and then how do you compare now? And then the next best one's going to go, and then how do you compare now? You're going to sell, right? If you're getting less than that, we need to talk. If you're out of the market and you just don't get any showings, well, unfortunately, I was right, and we need to make a price adjustment, right? And then there's kind of no man's land where you might get some ones and twosies here and there that, you get like 3 showings on the weekend, but it was the weekend, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then nothing. It's like, they're all excited thinking, but we had the 3, right? You're kind of in a no man's land there. And then understanding, where that pricing disparity is for that home, right? The high end, the low end, right? What you're presenting to them on that CMA, and then also understanding the time on market, right? So we've got about 60 days on market right now, on average, right? So what that would say is in here. It says. The first few weeks are the make or break time, right? Where in those first 2 to 3 weeks, that's when it's syndicating and it's getting out to everybody, right? That's when you probably have the most activity on the home, is in those first 2 to 3 weeks, right? After that, it starts to come down. You get into 4, 5, 6 weeks on the market, and your activity, you're just getting older and older, right? And then after that, you could start to have issues, depending on the property, but kind of creating that understanding around, how long can we expect, right, with what's going on. Right now, you're right, things are speeding up. So the statistics online, I think, might be a little skew, right, because we're kind of in a weird part of our market, right? Our affordability levels are pretty high, right? They're not unmanageable, right? We've got a little bit of room to grow, but affordability for the Antelope Valley is pretty high right now. Prices are also very high, right? And our rates have stayed super low for a long time, right? And we've had pretty good prices for a long time. At some point, that's got to correct, right? Or something's got to happen. And that's why I say we're kind of in a weird spot where it seems like with our low inventory, right, with our low interest rates, it seems like we should have buyers going crazy, right? And we're starting to feel a little bit of that, right? It's starting to pick up a little bit, but it's like,
You're still waiting for
yeah, where is it, right? When is it going to just like pop off, right? Or when's it going to drop? That's what so understanding that and staying abreast of that all the time, because not just for your listing presentation, but for your elevator pitch, right? When you're just talking to people, when you do get someone on the phone and all of a sudden they're like, actually, you know what? I was thinking about it. You know, what's going on in my neighborhood? It's like, oh, well, right? But but kind of having some general knowledge so you can, you know, kind of give them a little teaser and then schedule that listing appointment, right? But being aware of what's going on in the market, definitely going to help you. Okay. Okay. So we're talking about that. Market conditions, comparable sales. So be honest. Be honest. On page 18. Here's a quick little script. Do you want me to tell you the truth, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Right? I think that's a really good way to ask it, because what's anybody going to say? Right? The way that that's worded is probably going to lighten the situation a little bit, right? Oh, I really just want you to just tell me what I want to hear, but okay, hit me with the truth, right? Right? Now you've got permission to tell them, look, you're in space, right? It's just good luck, right? As that, right? You know, where do you see that on this CMA, right? Where?
You're in space.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we're going to do next. Has everyone in here had the opportunity to do a comparative market analysis on a home? Sure. And if you haven't, that's okay. Raise your hand. So you guys haven't? Or you have? You have not. Okay. You have. Okay. Okay. So it's just one that hasn't. So we're gonna split into teams. And I think we're gonna do actually twos. So you guys will be a team. You'll be a team. You'll be a team. 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 Okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you a couple of properties. There's only going to be 2 properties, so you guys are going to, a couple of you are going to look up the same ones, okay? And so
I have one I have to do a market analysis on. Can I do that?
Sure, sure. Give me, what's the address?
3129 Quarry Road.
Do you have a pen there?
Yes.
Can you write down this address?
Okay. 3129 Quarry Road. 93550.
Quarry Road.
Quarry, Q-U-A-R-R-Y. I'm sorry, can you spell it again?
Quarry. Q-U-A-R-R-Y.
Yeah.
R-R-Y. Okay, so you're going to do that one. You're going to do that one. Okay? Yeah, you're going to do a different one. Does anyone else have a property that they're going to be looking at a value on? Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the address? Well, here, let me ask this. Is your property, is it a conforming, like he was talking about?
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to find, like, what? Okay. Is it conforming? Is it going to be in an area where we're going to be able to find reasonable comparables pretty easily, or is it a rural, unique property?
Unique.
Okay. I'd like, for this exercise, I'd like to do something that's going to be something that we can work. Anybody else have one? No? No. You got one?
Yeah.
That these guys can do?
Sure. Yeah.
What's the address? Get, one person on each team, get ready to write down the address.
43330 20th Street West in Lancaster, 93534.
Okay.
You guys got that?
43330.
Yeah.
433.
30.
So that zero's a 3.
Three
So
number 3.
433320.
We are doing, this is ours.
No, not two.
Oh,
43330.
oh, okay. 0. And you got it?
43330.
Okay. All right, so hold on. So here's what you guys are going to do. So I'd like you to, as a team, work together. Don't share with the other teams, because the goal is going to be, what I'd like to see is we're going to present your value, what you've come up with as a team, right? We're not going to do a full full presentation, right? But I'd like you to have the comps available. I'd like you to review them and be able, as a team, to present a value on it, okay? And then the other team is going to present their value, right? And we're going to compare, and we'll talk about why, okay? Because like we talked about when Wayne was in here, not Wayne, Daryl. When Daryl was in here, this is not, it's not a science, right? This is an art, right? I mean, we're taking information and we're going to analyze it as individuals, right? And as individuals, we're going to come up with our range or our value, okay? So with this, you guys are going to be looking at.
We're going to go use the computer outside.
Okay, you can use a computer. So what you're going to be looking for, you're going to be looking at the location, the size, the amenities, and the condition. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about how to do that and where to get the information. If you have questions, I'm here to help you. We're going to do this in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay?
House sold in 2009 for $60,000. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. 60 grand.
Sold.
Yeah, it was 2009, but.
No, now.